Team dressed in whites back here at Comerica Park. The Tigers are taking the field. It is a nice night for baseball here, and we have a nice crowd as well, a big crowd here at Comerica Park as we get ready for baseball here this evening. We'll check out the Royals starting lineup in this one. It'll be David DeJesus leading it off. He'll play in left field. Willie Bloomquist is the shortstop, batting second. Billy Butler is at first base. Mark Teahan will clean up. He's at third. Jose Guillen is in right. Mike Jacobs the DH. Alberto Callaspo, good numbers against the Tigers. He's at second base. Miguel Olivo is the catcher, and Mitch Meyer is the center fielder, and he is batting ninth. Here is the Dodge scouting report on Tigers right-hander Armando Galarraga.
The last couple of times Galarraga has gone out there, he's done a pretty good job. He has won 2 games. The earned run average at 3.65, but however, he can't walk 6 as he did 5 days ago. You're not going to win most of those games. He'll get a mulligan for that, and he has mastered Kansas City this year. 1-0 record with a 1.5 ERA against the Royals. Let's take a look at the defense behind Galarraga. Of course, it's always presented by your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores. Rayburn, Granderson, Ordonez in the outfield. Inge, Everett, Polanco, Cabrera. Now that's the infield. Gerald Laird putting down the signs tonight for Galarraga once again.
Well, the numbers on Galarraga appear as follows. He has won his last 2 starts, and I guess, Rod, you could say a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. That's one of the reasons why he got those 10 starts in the rotation, even though he was struggling, is the fact that he won 13 games last year, first 3 this year. Jim just wanted him to figure out a few things, which apparently he has done the last couple of times out.
Well, we'll see what he can do here against the Royals, a team that he has pitched very well against in his career. And David DeJesus leading a banged-up Royals offense into play tonight. They have quite a few players on the disabled list. The first pitch of the game is outside to David DeJesus. Nice night for baseball here in the Motor City. Good to be back home. And it is 79 degrees at game time. Galarraga's 1-0. It'll be DeJesus, Bloomquist, and then Butler, the top 3 in Trey Hillman's lineup.
Yeah, one of the members that's on the disabled list is Coco Crisp, their center fielder, and was their leadoff hitter at the beginning of the year. But now DeJesus is back in that slot.
It really does change the look and feel of your lineup when you have that go-to guy at the start of your lineup at the top, and it's made things a little bit difficult for them.
Well, Chris was doing a nice job, not only in center field, but he could steal some bases. He was a good leadoff man for Trey Hillman, their manager.
Lifted in the air, foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on David DeJesus. Well, Trey Hillman had his team playing some pretty good baseball at the start of the year. In fact, they were the buzz of the American League the first time we went into Kansas City this year, but they've fallen on some hard times.
I believe for the first 30 games, they were in first place.
Yeah. We've talked about their injuries. Chris, Mike Aviles. That pitch is missing outside. The count rolls to 3-2. DeJesus has 6 triples this season, which leads the American League, and the Royals as a team lead the majors with 30 triples. And there is ball 4, not the way that Galarraga wanted to start this one. Leadoff walk. By the way, if you didn't know, this game is available in crystal clear, stunning high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. Always good to see the home ballpark filled up with fans. They're still filing in here on a great night as Willie Bloomquist settles into the batter's box. 274 batter is Bloomquist. And Galarraga misses inside. That'll prompt a visit from Gerald Laird.
Yeah, Willie Bloomquist pretty much signed as a utility player for this Kansas City Royals team. He could play every position on the field except probably pitch and catch, but I'm sure he could catch in a pinch. But he has gotten more at bats this year than the last 2 years combined. 1 because of injuries, 2 because their other shortstops have struggled offensively.
31 years old. He was a member of the Seattle Mariners for the last 7 years. Galarraga stepping off. DeJesus really does not have any stolen base numbers this year. And we talked about the fact that Crisp is out of their lineup. He is a dynamic player, both offensively and defensively. DeJesus has stolen once. He's been caught twice. There's a strike, 1-1. Well, Galarraga did not allow a home run in his last start against Oakland, which snapped a string of 11 consecutive starts in which he allowed a long ball. Here he would love a ground ball to get a double play. They're talking about the fact that Armando is really good against Kansas City. He has 2-0 career against him with a 1.8 ERA. And now time is given to the batter at home plate, Bloomquist. Boy, Galarraga has really slowed this thing down.
He's paying way too much attention to a guy that only has one stolen base.
And that guy is DeJesus, who continues to edge off the bag. Bloomquist waiting patiently. Pitch out with a runner going. This ought to be easy, and it is. Tigers smelled that one out. DeJesus was gone by about 5 feet.
It's a nice job by Jim. Don't know if it was a steal or a hit and run that Bloomquist just couldn't get to. But usually the hitter, even though it's a pitch out, they will still swing. And it appeared that it may have been a hit and run because he offered at it, just couldn't pull the trigger. And when you've got the equalizer behind the plate in Gerald Laird, you're going to be out more often than not.
So Laird continues to add to those great numbers of throwing runners out. I mean, he's been one of the best in all of baseball. Gerald now at 40%. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Bloomquist is out of there. 2 gone.
Take one more look at DeJesus. Usually the base runner will tell you if it's a hit and run or not. After the first couple of steps, if they're looking in, that pretty much tells everybody that the hit and run's on. They just want to see where the ball is put in play or not. And then after you see that it's not put in play, then obviously you're trying to steal after that.
2 outs now for Billy Butler. Butler at 289. Strike one.
It's a nice job of managing there by Jim to give that pitch out there, because everyone I've talked to here today surrounding this Royals team, they have said that Trey Hillman has not done a whole lot of that. They're not running that much. He's not putting on hit and run signs as much. Not nearly as much as he did his first year of a manager in Kansas City.
Well, they sniffed that one out. The 0-2 is swung on and missed, and Galarraga is through the first inning with a couple of strikeouts. No runs, no hits, a walk, nobody left. Here come the Tigers. First inning. Take a look at the Tigers starting lineup, brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute, and Jim Leland has them lined up like this tonight. Curtis Granderson leads it off in center field, followed by Placido Polanco. Miguel Cabrera and some really good numbers in 26 games. Marcus Thames, the DH. Ryan Rayburn in left. Inge at third. Your bottom three is Ordonez, Laird, and Everett for the Tigers. Bernstein advantage brings you the scouting report on the Royals. Gil Mesh get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you.
Well, for whatever reason, Gil Mesh really likes pitching here at Comerica Park. His career, he is 5-1 against the Tigers, but he is headed in the wrong direction right now. He has lost his last 3. And Gerald Laird in his career has really nice numbers against Gil Mesh.
So Granderson leads it off. One of the 3 and yet maybe 4 Tigers All-Stars this year.
Granderson said he was lost for words for one of the few times in his life when he found out he made the All-Star team.
Well, in Curtis's case, obviously if you're voted in by the fans, that's a great honor, but he was voted in by the players, and that's a terrific honor as well, to be voted in by your peers.
It tells you a whole lot about the respect that his peers have for him around baseball.
Mesh just missed, and the count is 1-2.
I thought in recent years that's one of the best things they have done with that all-star process.
I agree.
Is allowing the players to vote in some of the guys that they want in the game after the fans have had their say.
Mesh with a pretty good hook that time to strike out Granderson. 1 gone.
He's got a nasty bender when he's on. Now here's the Royals defense brought to you by Honda Bloomfield. DeJesus in left. Meyer, the local kid, in center. Guillen in right. He's got a powerful throwing arm. Tien, Bloomquist, Cayaspo, Butler. That's the other side of the infield. Olivo behind the plate, and Gil Mesh is on the bump tonight.
Here's Placido Polanco with 1 out. Mesh in there with strike 1.
Mesh has got that firm fastball anywhere from 91 to 94 miles an hour. Real good curveball when he's on. And he also has a pretty good changeup. He likes to throw elevated fastballs, and the Tigers know as much. They'll have to lay off that pitch today.
Another hook, and he's been throwing that for strikes as well. 0-2.
That's one of the things that makes his curveball such a good pitch for him, is he throws it and from the same arm slot as he throws his fastball, and he throws so many high fastballs. As a Tiger, when you see it up in that zone, you lay off of it, and then that breaking ball catches the plate.
Well, the Royals may be struggling, but in this series, the Tigers will see Mesh and they will see Greinke.
2 pretty good ones.
Greinke will pitch on Wednesday against Luke French. Tomorrow it's Bruce Chen and Verlander. But yeah, 2 pretty good ones indeed. Now the 1-2.
Last time the Tigers saw Mesh in May 25th to be exact. He pitched 2 1/3 innings. He threw 70+ pitches and had to leave that game. He was battling some back issues at that time and probably shouldn't even made that start.
Yeah, he looked like he was in pain that entire day. That one just missed.
Looked like Brian O'Nora was ready to go up with that right hand.
3-2 on Placido Polanco. He had 7 hits on the road trip for the Tigers. Trying to set up Cabrera waiting on deck. And the 3-2. Tigers get a 1-out base runner. Mesh in his last start walked 5 against Minnesota.
That's quite a few for him.
It was a season high. Well, it tied his season high. He's done that a couple of times. Here's Cabrera now batting .323.
He has mastered this yard. He loves hitting at Comerica Park.
And he takes ball 1 outside. His numbers here at home are really, really gaudy.
He's got a rare combination of power and finesse. And what I mean by finesse is very seldom do you see him fooled. He's got a sweet swing from the right side, and he utilizes the entire baseball field. Yeah, those are some of the numbers for Cabby and his comfort zone at Comerica Park.
Well, the Tigers as a team have played well here. They are in search of their 9th consecutive home victory. Breaking ball missing away. 2-1 on Miguel Cabrera. Had 10 hits on the road trip. He is zeroing in on 200 career home runs. He needs 9 more to reach that plateau. Bouncing ball hit to second base. A little bit of a funny hop for Cayaspo, but they will turn two. Bloomquist with a relay, and the Tigers are done. We'll head to the second at Comerica. No score. Banks standing the test of time since 1849. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. Comcast, which has over 10,000 on-demand choices more than anyone. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Great night for baseball. We're back here at Comerica Park. Still no scores. 79 degrees. Our game time temperature here tonight as the Tigers open their final homestand leading up to the All-Star break. And the first pitch is into Mark Teahen, who leads it off for the Royals. Teahen, Guillen, and then Mike Jacobs for KC. 9 home runs this year for Mark Teahen. He is 5 for his last 10, so he's been relatively hot of late. Playing third base these days. They are still waiting on the return of Alex Gordon, their starting third baseman, who had some hip problems that he is coming back from, and they say he should be back shortly after the All-Star break.
He has already started a rehab assignment in their minor leagues. They have had a lot of injuries this year. Chris lost for the season. Avilas, their starting shortstop at the beginning of the year, also lost for the season with Tommy John surgery.
Strike called, and Teahen is punched out of there, and Galarraga now has picked up 3 strikeouts.
It's a well-located two-seam fastball here running away from Teahen. It's a pitch that Teahen can't hit. But you can offer at it. You can try to foul that pitch off. You're not going to do a lot of damage with it. But with 2 strikes, you should at least pass at it.
There's Jose Guillen. He's the right fielder batting in the 5 hole. I guess you don't need to be a pitcher anymore to have the Tommy John surgery. Just about any position will have that surgery now.
Yeah. Position players can come back a lot sooner from it than pitchers, obviously.
Roped on the ground is short off the glove of Everett and into left field. Hit hard. Everett tried to backhand it. 1 out base runner.
That should be a base hit.
I'm putting it down as a single.
And really had no time to back up on this ball. Had he had more time to back up and get a better hop for himself, he may have been able to make the play with Guillen running, but the ball was hit so sharply and got a short hop. Looked like it hit right off the heel of his glove.
It's a base hit for Jose Guillen, and now Mike Jacobs.
Jacobs has struggled in the Kansas City Royals uniform this year. Monster numbers last year playing for the Florida Marlins, but just 10 home runs this year, 27 driven in, hitting .225.
They have the shift on for him. The shortstop Everett is shaded toward the bag at second. In fact, he's almost directly behind it.
But you can look at a few hitters that leave the National League and come over to the American League, and there's been a few that have struggled.
Ground ball hit to first base. Cabrera spins to second for one, and that's all they're going to get. He pulled Everett to the outfield side, and so they will settle for the force out at second.
That's why it's very important to make those good firm throws to second base. I think they may have had time to complete the double play here had it been a ball that Everett would have been able to receive and get back on the way to Galarraga. I think Galarraga would have been at the bag in time.
It's going to bring up Callaspo. Getting back to your point about guys switching leagues, why do you think it is guys coming from the National League maybe struggling here against American League pitching?
Well, I think the American League pitching is better. No disrespect to the guys in the other league, but even looking at the all-star rosters,
yeah,
there's some good pitchers on that side. There's no debate about that, but I don't think they compare to the Grinkeys and the Hallidays and the Verlanders and the Jacksons and the list goes on and on. Beckett, you name it. There's some premium guys over here, and I think some of the guys that come from the other league struggle because of that.
Well, Jim Leland has agreed with that. In fact, he has said many times this year that it's no joke going up against a lot of these starting pitchers that you will see, and not just one guy in a series, but sometimes 2 and 3 guys that are dominant.
Felix Hernandez in Seattle. This is some of the best pitching I've seen from a starting standpoint since I've been broadcasting games here in Detroit for 7 years.
Callaspo, the batter, is now down in the count 1-2.
Cliff Lee. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sabathia, Burnett. I mean, it's just a ton of power guys over in this league.
Jacobs at first with 2 outs. Galarraga could not get him to chase, and it's 2-2.
Callaspo's a good hitter, hitting .304, everyday second baseman. He struggles defensively and he's made quite a few errors, but he can flat out swing that stick.
He is a very difficult guy to strike out. In fact, the toughest in the American League. He strikes out almost every 16 plate appearances. It's lifted back out of play.
I remember the very first season we played Kansas City, and I was talking to a good buddy of mine who works in the front office for Kansas City, Louis Medina, and he was telling me Callaspo was their best pure hitter. And obviously Butler comes to mind for me because I like the way that Billy Butler can swing that stick. And he said, no, Callaspo is their best pure hitter. And the numbers kind of validate that right now.
Time called now as Callaspo steps out of the box, given time by Brian O'Nora.
Here's the bio on Callaspo. Traded from the D-backs. D-backs who use him by right now.
2-2 pitch is chopped back up the middle. Polanco will flip for the force, and the side retires. So nothing comes of the 1-out single. 1.5 in the books. Still scoreless in this one.
Tune into Fox and to bring you every thrilling moment of the 2009 MLB All-Star Game, including President Obama throwing out the first pitch during the Pepsi All-Star pregame. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 14th at 8. Live from St. Louis, only on Fox.
The Prez is going to be there.
Yes, he is. Obama. I think he throws left-handed.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he does. I saw him shooting hoops left-handed. Thames, Rayburn, and Inge here in the second. Gilmesh gave up a walk, but got a double play ball back in the first inning.
I was reading some comments from Verlander in today's newspaper, and he said that's one of the things he's fired up about. The fact that he might get a chance, I should say, in meeting President Obama.
Well, I know when we were in Washington, was that a couple of years ago now?
Yes.
2 years ago we played Washington. Verlander had a chance to meet the president. President Bush at that time. Always a great honor to meet the President of the United States.
Yes.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Marcus Thames. Back in the mid-90s when Lou Gehrig broke, or I should say Cal Ripken broke Lou Gehrig's record in Baltimore. I had the honor of doing that game, and President Clinton was there, and I wanted to go meet President Clinton. Secret Service had other ideas. You're not getting close to the Prez, young man. 2-2.
They are well protected.
Yes, they are. 2-2 on Thames. Rayburn, then Inge. As the Tigers trying to get something going against Gilmesh. Driven in the air, deep into left field, way back. See you later, it's gone. Marcus Thames with a home run into the seats in left field, number 7.
You're talking about the fact that Galarraga, in 11 of his last 12 starts, has given up a home run. Let's take a look at the Lincoln Mercury Exmo. It's a breaking ball that's flipped outside, and Mark was able to reach out and grab that ball and yank it about 370 feet from home plate. He's got that kind of power. But that is now 7 straight games. Mesh has given up at least 1 home run. So he's been serving up some gopher balls himself.
And we'll take it. Here's a bunt by Rayburn, and it's going to go back out of play. So Marcus now with his 15th RBI, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead.
That's one thing about Marcus. His contact to damage ratio is usually off the charts. And when he makes contact, it's a loud sound.
And that contact resulted in a home run that went 400 feet. That was the official distance. He's got his bat with him.
I wonder if those fans out in left field could see it. It's awfully sunny out there. Be careful.
0-2 on Rayburn.
Everett with a handshake.
1-2 on Ryan. A 7-hit road trip for Rayburn. He's hit safely in his last 4.
Rayburn's kind of really quieted his approach down.
It's skied in the air, right field. Guillen backing up, still drifting. That ball carried to the warning track. 1 out.
It's some wind up there tonight.
Well, how about our poll question tonight? We'd like your input. Our question tonight is, you can text what you think. Who is the biggest American League All-Star snub? Brandon Inge, Ian Kinsler, Adam Lind, or Miguel Cabrera? A, B, C, or D. Text that to 37338 or FSDET.
Good question tonight. There's going to be a few snubs every year with only 33 spots on each side. And you've got, what, about 750 major league players?
Yeah, it's impossible to get around it.
It's impossible to get as many guys on the team that are deserving. Impossible.
Inge looks at a strike. No balls, 2 strikes on Brandon. We'll have the final numbers on Tigers Live for you tonight.
But no doubt Brandon having a season. and that is all-star worthy.
And the hope is that the folks here in Detroit will rally around him and send him to the All-Star game and vote as often as you can.
On most days, if you get a look at the vote-ins posters here tonight that they have printed up, Cabrera's numbers would have been good enough to make an All-Star team.
Oh, there's a break there for the Tigers. Ainge will get first base. That ball hopped all the way into the dugout.
And nothing Olivo could do on that breaking ball. Must have hit something. Either hit the plate, hit a glove, hit a shin guard, hit something.
Nothing, just
a breaking ball down right off his glove or his forearm or something.
Strikeout wild pitch allows the runner to reach. Tigers trying to add to the 1-0 lead as Maglio steps in. Way high from Mesh. He missed with a fastball, 1-0.
Just to finish that thought on Cabrera, he had Youkilis and Morneau and Teixeira. They finished ahead of him in the voting. And also Carlos Pena, who leads the American League with 23 home runs, is not on the club either. So a lot of competition at that first base slot.
Maglio, he's hit safely in his last 3. 4 home runs this year, including a long ball in Minnesota. Sliced in the air foul, heading back toward the seats. 2-1 on Ordonez. It has been a struggle and a half for Maglio this year. He's a guy that's used to batting the top of the lineup, a guy that is used to driving in 100 runs a year, hitting over 300. Now it's low, 3 balls, 1 strike. But when you combine the numbers a year ago today, they're quite a bit different. 12 home runs compared to 4, 50 RBIs compared to 28. Checked it, and there is ball 4. Second walk for Gil Mesh. 2 men on. It's going to bring up Gerald Laird. Laird has had good numbers this year against the Royals, 7 for 16, and on top of that, over his last 11 games, he's batting at .342, so his bat has come alive. RBI opportunity here. Mesh gave up the home run to Thames to start the inning. And ball 1 to Gerald. Laird with a road trip that produced 8 hits. He's already thrown a runner out in this ball game. Here's the 1-0. Now Mesh all of a sudden having trouble finding the strike zone after coming out in the first inning and pounding the strike zone. Bob McClure, their pitching coach, Trey Hillman, skipper of the Royals, and a Royals team that came into play tonight at 35-46. Low again, 3 balls and no strikes, and he's 1 pitch away from loading the bases. Royals come in 9 out. Well, that Cleveland team is just, it's a mystery to me.
They've had some injury problems, but other than that, they really have not played good baseball for Eric Wedge.
And there is ball 4. Back-to-back walks, 3 for the game, and that's going to bring Bob McClure out.
Well, you talked about the fact that he had 5 in his last start, so apparently Mesh is going through some control issues right now.
They are loaded up. Of course, the strikeout of the wild pitch did not help Nesh's cause here. It would have been 2 out, nobody on. Well, if you missed one of our primetime or daytime Tigers telecasts, you can now see a replay at midnight as part of our expanded Tigers Game Night program block that starts as early as 6 p.m. and runs through the wee hours. It's Tigers Game Night, including game replays at midnight here on Fox Sports Detroit. Here's one of the Tigers All-Stars, Justin Verlander. He'll be headed there along with Jackson and Granderson. Here's Everett. He pulls this one down the left field line. It is hooking, and that ball is foul. Into row 1 of the seats down there, or actually halfway up that section, the aisle row. 0-1 on Everett. A couple of grand slams for Everett, including one earlier this year. It came against Cleveland. Ground ball hit to the shortstop. There's one. Callaspo's relay is 2, and a double play just in the nick of time for Gil Mesh. Second double play the Tigers have hit into tonight. But Marcus put him on the board with a solo home run. Will make you happy you came in. That's a promise. AT&T, your world delivered. And by BP, help your car run younger for longer. Try BP gasoline with Invigorate. Back here at Comerica Park, where the Tigers have been really good at home, and through 34 games, here are some of the best home records the Tigers have had.
And it's good to see them off to such a great start this year in their home ballpark.
The 1911 team was 25-9. You remember that team, Rod?
Yeah, I do. I do remember that team.
Miguel Olivo leading it off. Olivo, Mitch Meyer, and David DeJesus. Galarraga has not given up a run through the first 2 innings. Olivo can hit with some power. He's hit 13 home runs this year. In fact, only 2 other catchers in the American League have hit more home runs, Mauer and Martinez. They each have 14.
Good fastball hitter is Olivo. He does struggle with off-speed pitches. Therefore, Galarraga has thrown him 2 in a row. Make that 3. And more than likely, he'll get another one. That's one of the things that's kind of helped Galarraga his last couple of starts. That breaking ball has been a better pitch for him. Not hanging nearly as many sliders as he was hanging while he was going through that 10-game struggling stretch.
He's going to get Olivo here. They throw to first to complete strikeout number 4.
4 straight breaking balls to Olivo.
It's funny because you were talking about how in his bad stretch that breaking ball was just hanging on a tee, and it just didn't seem to have the bite or the location.
It was flat, and it's all about the arm slot that he was throwing it from. I mean, when you get to that low 3/4 arm slot, it's tough to get on top of the pitch. Therefore, you're not going to have much tilt to it. Therefore, it flattens out. Also, Galarraga's at his best when he's got a good two-seamer, and with the arm angle that I'm talking about, which had him throwing flat sliders, the fastball was straightening out. So it was just a matter of kind of tweaking that arm slot. And also confidence is a big part of it. He was lacking confidence.
Mitch Meyer hits one in the air toward left. Rayburn on the run into the sunlight. 2 gone.
And Galarraga's first 4 starts this year, it looked like he was going to win at least 13 games, which he did last year, leading the Tigers pitching staff. But boy, the next 10, he scuffled. Just couldn't find it. And look at the home run numbers.
Yikes.
14 home runs in that next 10 starts. And the opponent's batting average was .343. He had a long leash, though. Jim gave him a long leash. He gave him 2 months to figure it out.
Well, and hopefully he has figured it out, because the last 2 have been pretty good. David DeJesus batting here. And even through his struggles, Galarraga had some games where he walked a few, but he would never walk, 5, 6, 7 in a game. That he was just getting hit, and he had some big hits allowed games, that's for certain. But Leland gave him an opportunity to work through it based on what he did last year and how he started this year.
Also, another reason why Jim was in no rush to take Galarraga out of the rotation. His front 3 were doing a nice job. Verlander, Jackson, and Porcello.
Slowly hit toward third, Inge on the charge. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Armando Galarraga. Still 1-0 Detroit.
On Saturday, the first 10,000 fans receive a Detroit Stars cap. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER. Visit Tigers.com.
And Curtis Granderson leads it off here in the third. He'll be followed by Polanco and Cabrera.
It's always a nice weekend. Negro League weekend here at Comerica Park. Most teams just do one day. Tigers do an entire weekend.
Trying to find out what the name of the Cleveland team is going to be. Obviously, Detroit is the Stars. I don't know. The Buckeyes, I think.
The Buckeyes?
Yeah, that would make sense. They are the Cleveland Buckeyes. There you go. Bouncer to first. Easy play there for Butler. I am reminded that they played here a couple of years ago in the game, but I have no recollection of that. I can't remember what I ate for breakfast today. The Cleveland Buckeyes.
Yeah. Speaking of the Negro Leagues, and what brought this up is the fact that Satchel Paige made his first All-Star team at age 46 in 1952. And what kind of brings that up is the fact that Wakefield made his first All-Star team this year at age 42.
Wow.
Second youngest first-time All-Star. Satchel Paige was 46 years old and an All-Star.
Well, I just love listening to the stories from those that have faced him and the type of talent he was. A lot of talent in the Negro Leagues that just obviously never got an opportunity to play big league baseball. Polanco looks at a ball up high, 1-1.
Well, some of the guys that even got a chance to play and went on to the Hall of Fame got their start in the Negro League.
Absolutely.
Hank Aaron comes to mind. Willie Mays also comes to mind. Both players started in the Negro League.
They were pretty good.
Yeah.
Polanco walked in the first. Back up the middle into center. Placido has a base hit. 1 on, 1 out. It's going to bring up Cabrera. By the way, I learned a new breakfast drink from Polanco yesterday at the Metrodome.
What did you learn?
I walked into the clubhouse and Polanco was mixing up a concoction. And I said, "What are you making there?" And he said, "Well, it's half milk and half orange juice." And I thought, that's terrible. And he said, no, wait a minute. He put in a spoon of sugar in it, stirred it up, and had me try it. I couldn't put it down.
Really?
It was unbelievable. I could not put it down. It was really good.
Half orange juice,
half
milk, and a spoonful of sugar.
Mix her on up, and you won't be able to put it down, I'm telling you.
So you have a new breakfast drink.
I do. It was really good. I said, "Give me some more." He said, "No. I've got drinks on my own self." He was getting ready for the game, but he didn't play yesterday. 0-1 on Cabrera. And it's low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Evidently, they drink that in the Dominican Republic quite a bit. He said, "That's a big drink in my hometown."
They also drink quite a few Presidentes over there.
Oh, my goodness.
Them things are good now.
Oh. Write that one down as the line of the year. Not to be surpassed.
Hey, the President is nice now.
2-1 on Cabrera. I'll take your word for it. There's a base hit to right. And Polanco will go to second base. So Cabrera has a single.
That's
on now.
What I was talking about Cabrera when he came up the first time up. Rare combination of power, but he's also got bat range where he'll take the base hit the other way. And that's one of the reasons why he's hitting .412 here at Comerica Park. Rare combination to have this kind of power where you can hit 40 home runs and yet hit .330. Power and finesse.
Well, the Tigers are looking like they want to knock Mesh out of the game. They loaded the bases against him in the second, but hit into a double play. Now Marcus is up there with 2 men on.
Speaking of power, he's got some power.
7th home run for Thames back in the second. And that has provided the ball game so far with its only run.
And really the pitch that Mesh threw to Marcus is a pitch that most guys would try to go the other way with. A breaking ball on the outside part of the plate. But Marcus is not looking to hit the ball the other way. He's looking to pull just about everything. And he reached out and hit that ball 400 feet. And the ball's outside. He's got some crazy power.
One-handed.
Crazy power.
Behind in the count here, 0-2. It's a little bit low.
I threw you off that Presidente line. I ain't seen you laugh
still
that hard.
thinking about it. Well, and I was taking a drink of water while you delivered that line. It's now all over my computer. Thank you for that. 1-2.
Anybody that's been down there, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
You played down there, didn't you?
A couple of years.
Yeah.
Good baseball.
First-hand knowledge.
Tremendous baseball.
Swing and a miss. Meanwhile, Polanco going to try and get to third, and he does.
He must have drunk some of that juice and milk and sugar.
He took off quickly and made it easily.
Nice read by Placido. Now, he knows the breaking ball is coming. Now, he was on second base for a number of pitches, so he knows the sequence of signs that Olivo is going through. He read it in the dirt, and as soon as that ball trickled away from Olivo, he was able to get to third, and he needed a great jump to get there because that ball only bounced about 4 or 5 feet away from Olivo. If he hesitates for one moment, he's out. But again, when you're a middle infielder and you're looking in at the signs, and obviously when you're on second base, the catcher's going through a series of signs, Polanco knew a breaking ball was coming. Now, I wasn't that smart when I got on second base. I could not tell.
Well, you know he had to read it well because he got there with ease. That ball didn't get too far away from Olivo. Strikeout wild pitch, which allows the runner to advance to third. Rayburn trying to knock in another run here. He fly to right field back in the second. That's outside.
Mesh is throwing hard. Fastball in the mid-90s, but his command has not been good.
No, he's walked 3.
Yeah, he's thrown 56 pitches.
Leland was saying before the game the one thing he really was upset about in Minnesota was that the Tigers didn't get too many quick outs when they were on defense, and they gave up a lot of quick outs against the opposing pitcher. We've seen a lot of that tonight. They've been fairly patient. They've drawn some walks here. They put some men on base.
Well, I'm sure that if he told the media that, I'm sure he probably relayed that message to Lloyd, and then Lloyd probably told his troops about it as well.
Rayburn has knocked in 20. He's behind 1-2.
You know, I was talking about Rayburn in sort of a new batting stance that he's adopted. I mean, take a look at when he gets his bat up on the shoulder. He doesn't move it. It's something he and Lloyd has kind of worked on, just kind of simplifying what he's doing. He's a lot more quiet. He's not moving, not wiggling that bat, just kind of rested on his shoulder. And then once the ball's on its way, he just kind of does what he does. Different approach here by Rayburn.
Runner goes from first, and it's grounded foul.
And he was telling me yesterday that it's really helped him. You talked about the fact that he had 7 hits on the road trip, and the road trip didn't start out that way. They kind of worked on it in Oakland. He went out and got 3 hits in that game, a couple of doubles and a single. And then he also swung the bat pretty well in Minnesota. Sometimes you just simplify some things, quiet it down, slow the game down a little bit.
Olivo flashing the defensive signals.
Curtis Granderson also working on this same kind of approach right now.
Breaking ball that Rayburn just got a piece of.
Mesh has thrown a lot of breaking balls today. Usually he's a guy that likes to elevate the fastball, change the eye levels with the fastball against the Tigers hitters. But today, he's thrown a lot of breaking pitches.
60 pitches overall. And we're still not through the 3rd inning. Bob McClure charting on their bench. Cabrera was on the run, so he is back to first base with a throw.
Game's really changed. They chart everything these days.
Fouled away again.
You've got to go down and help the skipper out with his computer so he can vote for Inge online for the All-Star game.
Now that was funny today. That was funny. He was asked about the online vote, and skipper says, I have no idea how to work a computer. I have no idea. I've never turned one on. I wouldn't know what I'm doing. Because we're trying to get him to vote for Inge.
Right.
He says if I knew how to work one, I'd vote. So we may have to give him some lessons.
And then he went on to say, if somebody came down here, turned it on, then showed me where to kind of punch, I might be able to do that.
Cleveland's a beauty, man. He is so old school. It's funny. You see him on the road, and all these managers' office, they all have big computers there that they provide the visiting manager.
Right.
He's never even on that thing.
No. Old school.
Well, he threw 25 pitches in the last inning, did Mesh, and he's got 24 coming up right here. And a breaking ball grounded to third, deep behind the bag for Tien. Scooped at first base by Billy Butler. Tigers turned away again. So we played 3, still 1-0 Detroit. What date was the first Major League Baseball All-Star game played? There you go. What was the date? First Major League Baseball All-Star game. And we'll give you the answer in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Tigers have squandered a couple of opportunities with some runners on base.
Well, you hope that doesn't come back to haunt them, because they had a potential big second inning and likewise in the third. So Galarraga working with just a minimal 1-0 lead here.
Yeah, they've been able to get the base runners on, but unable to get them in. There he is, Zach Greinke.
All-Star game bound.
More than likely, he will be the starting pitcher in St. Louis.
Bloomquist leading it off for the Royals here as we play in the 4th inning. This one might get back to the seats. In and out of that guy's hands.
Of course, Joe Madden, the manager for the American League squad, will make that decision. But with Greinke pitching on Wednesday here at Comerica Park, it lines up perfectly for him to start the All-Star game on Tuesday in St. Louis.
That always helps.
He's earned it too.
1-2. By the way, my man in the orange shirt down there had to catch that ball. That was in his hands.
He booted it?
Yeah, and the look on his face was...
No glove?
He knew it. No glove. Oh, well. There he is.
Big, strong fella, too.
Yeah.
Heart beating all fast.
That's to left center field and down. It's a base hit. Rayburn will cut it off. He's going to try for 2, and the throw. He dropped it, and he tagged him out. He overslid the bag.
Great job by second base umpire Adrian Johnson, staying on that. I really don't know what Bloomquist was doing to start, because he would have been out by about 5 feet had Polanco caught the ball cleanly. But when you're struggling to score runs, you're going to be over-aggressive. And he was over-aggressive here. Nice job by Polanco staying with him, and a nice job by Adrian Johnson.
I think he got back. Watch this. Right. Ooh, it was close.
That's close. Yep. No doubt.
Galarraga fired up. Tag him. Tag him. 7-4 in the putout.
That's a good hustle play by Bloomquist, but he kind of forced the issue there, and he knows it.
I think he saw Rayburn kind of stumbling a little bit and kind of shuffling his feet off to his side, and he thought, well, maybe he's not going to get a good, strong throw off.
That's the kind of game that Bloomquist does play, though.
Billy Butler, the batter. Butler struck out in the first. Galarraga has fanned 4 in this game. And Armando has given up just a couple of hits. High, towering fly ball to center. 2 gone.
The All-Star, Curtis Granderson.
Randy's first of what we assume will be quite a few in his career.
These home whites got to be the sharpest uniform in all of baseball. It's real simple. Old English D. Sparkling white, too.
You know, when the Tigers take the field at home, it's just a whole different feel to the ball club.
It's a pretty white.
Strike 1 on Mark Teahan, who fanned back into second.
Teahan's one of those guys that likes to hit the ball to left field. So if you're Rayburn, you got to be aware of that. He's got that inside-out swing for a left-handed batter, and really does not pull the ball unless it's a breaking ball. That's kind of the swing that Kevin Seitzer teaches their hitting instructor. Kevin was a good hitter himself.
Two and one on Teahan.
There's Kevin. He also had he was hitting coach for Arizona a few years back. It's his second big league gig.
Kevin played 12 years in the major leagues.
Good hitter.
.295 career hitter.
Good contact hitter.
2 and 1 on Teahan. Mark over his last 13 games batting at a .360 clip.
Good pitch. Galarraga throws his changeup and it acts like a fork ball.
Falls off the table.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, he kind of grips it like a fork ball.
2 and 2. Just missed the outside corner there. Teahan's still alive. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Armando came into this one having given up just 4 runs in 20 innings of work career against this Kansas City team. Teahan stays alive. Mark Teahan a couple of years ago in 07 hit just 7 home runs. Last year he rebounded with 15, and this year he has 9 as we head toward the break, so he's more on pace with what he did last year. The power return for Teahan. Three-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Galarraga has 5 strikeouts, and that's all for the Royals. Tag him! Favor of Detroit, the Marcus Thames home run back in the second, the difference. Brandon Inge leads it off, and then Ordonez and then Laird facing Gil Mesh, who has pitched out of a couple of problem innings. The second and the third. He's been helped out by a couple of double play balls tonight. That is grounded foul, third base side. 1-1 on Brandon. Inge has 17 multiple RBI games this year, which is tops on the Tigers team. You would expect that out of their RBI leader. He has 54. Good pitch right at the knees, and it's 1-2. Mesh, 30 years old, out of Lafayette, Louisiana. He has been a workhorse first 2 years in his big deal that he signed with the Royals. In fact, Mesh is in the third season now of a 5-year deal that he signed back in December of '06. It was a very lucrative contract, and he is provided in terms of throwing a lot of innings, making a lot of starts, 34 starts in each of his first 2 years. Inge would not chase, and the count goes 2-2. A 14-game winner last year. Mesh this year just 4-8. Three and two. Well, he had thrown 63 pitches coming into this inning, and he's fallen behind yet another hitter.
And balls to strikes ratio not very good.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. 4 strikeouts for Gil Mesh, 1 gone. Here's the duck again. The Aflac trivia question. What date was the first Major League Baseball All-Star game played? And you've got to go back to this date in 1933, July 6th at Comiskey Park in Chicago. The original Comiskey Park. Charlie Gehringer was in that game representing the Tigers. There's the mechanical man. Well, a likeness of him at least. Back up the middle. Callaspo is going to back up Mesh, and he'll throw him out.
The ball was headed right up the middle. It had hit the mound, and it gave Callaspo enough time to run underneath it. It was hit firm enough to get through, or did it hit off the heel of Mesh?
1-4-3.
Left heel. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Two outs. Now Gerald Laird. Gerald walked back in the second. One of 2 walks in that inning for Mesh, but neither one scored. Tigers have 3 hits. The Royals have 2. And again, the home run by Thames, accounting for the only run of the game. The 1-0. Popped up foul, back out of play. First of 3 between these 2 teams. And the Tigers tomorrow will be sending Verlander to the hill, opposing Bruce Chen. And then French and Greinke on Wednesday. Low 3-1. There's Zach Greinke. Having quite a year. Driven high in the air to left center field. Mitch Meyer calling for it. And the Tigers go 1-2-3. 4 innings in the books tonight here at the ballpark. 1-0 Detroit. And by Wallside Windows, we can do that. We are the factory. Back here at Comerica Park, Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen back at the ballpark here. Tigers on top 1-0 over Kansas City. And so far so good for Armando Galarraga tonight, Rod. It looks like just another continuation of some positive steps for Armando.
Well, he's throwing out a better arm slot right now. He's got better tilt with his breaking ball, also a little life on his fastball. Now if they can get the offense to chip in a little bit, because they've been able to get to mesh. They've been able to get him to bend but not break. Yeah, and that has been one of the key situations here for the Royals. Gil Mesh has looked like he is going to throw quite a few pitches tonight. There's no doubt they'll get into the bullpen. They just haven't been able to get to it. Well, maybe he'll hang a few more of those breaking balls, because Mesh throwing more breaking balls today than I think I've ever seen him throw. So and maybe that's his game plan against Detroit coming in, but we'll see if they're able to get to him the next time they come to the dish.
Meanwhile, Galarraga has pitched with a 1-0 lead. As we go to the fifth inning, Jose Guillen leads it off. He'll be followed by Mike Jacobs and then Alberto Callaspo. Only 3 Tigers hits, only 2 Royals hits. Guillen has a single. That was back in the second. He has worn quite a few uniforms in his day. Pittsburgh, Tampa, Arizona, Cincinnati, just to name a few. And now Guillen is 2 for 2 with a base hit. Leadoff man on. That's a tying run. We'll bring up Mike Jacobs. Jacobs 0 for 1. Well, it's really been a struggle for Jacobs. 167 over his last 32 games. And this is a guy that knocked in nearly 100 runs last year with 32 homers over in the National League. The Royals gave up pretty good arm to get him in Leo Nunez.
They sure did.
But the adjustment has not gone as planned so far for Jacobs. That is popped up. Cabrera. 1 out. So Jacobs now 0 for 2. That'll bring up Callaspo. Callaspo has hit safely in 8 straight. When you delve into his numbers, he has really hit well against teams within his division. 381 against the Central. You're talking about how the D-backs would love to have him back right now. Well, they are really struggling.
Yes, they are.
Now the 0-1.
One of the reasons why the D-backs are struggling, their opening day starter, Brandon Webb, has not pitched since opening day with shoulder problems.
That's a big arm to lose. Huge arm.
Perennial Cy Young candidate.
Fouled back out of play.
You know, a lot of teams are going to be calling Arizona to see if Dan Herron is available.
Well, we saw him over here in the American League with the Oakland Athletics. There's not a team out there that wouldn't love to have Dan Herron.
He's an all-star.
Now the 1-2. That handcuffed Laird, but he's able to keep it to his side. Guillen not going anywhere. Armando has struck out 5 in this game. To center field. Too much room out there. Granderson hauling it in. Callaspo is 0 for 2. 2 gone. Galarraga's got a little bit of help in this game as well. We talked about the runner they had caught stealing on a missed hit and run, and also Bloomquist led off the fourth trying to stretch a single into a double and was thrown out. The Royals have not had a man in scoring position in this game, despite the fact that they've had at least one on in every inning but the third. Olivo struck out in the third. Breaking ball in there, strike one. Galarraga beat Kansas City back on the 26th of April, and that for the longest time was his only win, or his last win, until he finally got one on June 25th. So it was about a couple of months between victories. Trying to put up another one here tonight. He leads 1-0. 2-1.
He had 5 walks in that game.
He did.
But he got to win.
So he's had a game in which he's walked 5 and 1 and walked 6 and 1. I don't see that all too often. Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Miguel Olivo.
Good breaking ball. Olivo may as well just go up there and look for a breaking ball because that's all he gets.
And that's the type of breaking ball you were talking about, the new and improved that we've seen out of Galarraga.
Yeah, the Galarraga of old.
3-2. That means the runner will be on the move.
I mean, more than likely, another one of those slide pieces will be coming. Mitch Meyer on deck. Here it comes.
And a bouncing ball up the middle. Everett charging on it. His throw is in time. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, brought to you by Bell Tire. Leading 1-0 on that home run by Marcus Thames back in the second. That has provided all of our offense tonight. And by the way, here's that poll question again. Who has the biggest American League All-Star snub? And you can text A, B, C, or D to 37338. Here's some early results. Brandon Inge, 57%. Miguel Cabrera, 37%. And then you've got Kinsler and Lind.
Well, Inge still has a shot to make it. all the people that got online and voted for that. I'm sure they're voting for Brandon to get to St. Louis on July 14th.
MLB.com. Tigers.com. Vote Brandon. Everett, Granderson, Polanco. Here in the 5th inning. Mesh had himself a 1-2-3-4th after a couple of rocky innings. He came in with 77 pitches after 4.
I've been listening to a lot of the players that have been fortunate enough to have been told that they are going to the All-Star game. It's a big deal to them. It is a huge deal to the players that have accomplished that. To be known as one of the best in the game playing against your peers.
Well, that's good to hear, because in the past I think some of the fans got turned off by the fact that a lot of players would not go because of maybe injuries, or not necessarily injuries, that they weren't, feeling 100% and wanted to take the 3 days off.
Justin Morneau comes to mind. He said it's an honor to go to an All-Star game. And he'll be going to his 3rd All-Star game this year.
The 2-2 is strike 3 called. Everett is out. 1 away. 5 strikeouts, 1 in every inning now for Mesh. Well, here are the other guys that are in the running: Carlos Pena, Adam Lind, Ian Kinsler, and Sean Figgins.
You can make a strong case for all. Figgins playing third base, just a pest on the bases. Kinsler, lights out. Lynn doing a wonderful job driving in runs in Toronto. And Pena is leading the American League in home runs.
Voting ends Thursday at 4 p.m. So make sure you get out and on your computer and vote by then. Thursday at 4. And you can vote as many times as you'd like.
Speaking of Justin Morneau, how good is he?
Well, I think his numbers speak for themselves, but maybe more so, he's a terrific first baseman as well.
I mean, that series he had. Do you think he plays in the shadow of Mauer as well?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, I think the fact that he's in Minnesota hurts him a little bit too, but I think certainly Mauer gets more press than Morneau does, and Morneau is certainly one of the best in the game. Randy hooks one into right field, 1 out single. And we talked about Kugel playing in the shadow of both of those guys.
Yeah. I mean, I knew Morneau was a great player, but I don't know. For me, it went up a notch this last 3 days.
Well, he had a great series, that's for sure. He made you believe.
I mean, I was already a believer, but boy, what a player.
Here's Polanco, single and a walk.
Well, they could steal on this combination. Olivo's got a nice throwing arm behind the dish, a powerful throwing arm. But Mish usually does not give the catcher time to throw. And Granderson with 15 steals. And the Tigers only 1 run on the board. Why not try to get down in the scoring position?
Anderson has been caught 4 times this year with his 15 steals.
And Granderson's got a legitimate shot this year, being a 30-30 guy. 30 home runs, 30 stolen bases. He is on par for both of those, which would put him in some rare company.
Want to know?
I think he only stole like 11 last year total, didn't he?
Yeah, he has surpassed that this year.
Yeah, 11, I believe. It was after stealing 26 the year before.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. This looks like another double play. And it is. Bloomquist on to Billy Butler. Tigers hit into their 3rd double play. as well. Tomorrow it's Justin Verlander and Bruce Chen, and then on Wednesday to close out the series, Zach Greinke and Luke French. And you can catch both of those games right here on Fox Sports Detroit in high definition. Final 2 games in this series against the Kansas City Royals. Right now it is 1-0 Tigers. We go to the top of the 6th. And it's Mitch Meyer leading it off. Then David DeJesus and Willie Bloomquist.
Granderson had 12 steals last year. I said 11 while he was standing on first base, but he had 12 steals and he was caught 4 times.
Right at the shortstop, Adam Everett. And Meyer is out. He's 0 for 2. 1 gone. Well, I think
because we've been known to get an email or 2.
That we have. That we have. Anyway, I think your point about him being 30-30 is legitimate.
Yeah,
I think he could. With the 18 homers, 15 steals, certainly on pace to do it.
Well, that just means the fans are listening now, and they're in tune to what's going on. Good Tigers fans.
David DeJesus, 0 for 1 with a walk. There's a bouncing ball slowly toward first base. Cabrera for out number 2. Man, Galarraga's looking good tonight.
He sure is. He's got them all working. Nice strikes to balls ratio. Total of 77.
Now Willie Bloomquist. Singled in the 4th, but was thrown out as he tried to get to second base on the play. One of the 3 hits. That's it. Just 3 hits allowed by Armando Galarraga. Bloomquist is a guy that you can literally put anywhere on the field except pitch and catch, and he has played every position this year but those 2. He hasn't started them all, but he has appeared at every position. 2-1.
He is probably more valuable to the Royals in a utility role, in which they signed him for in the offseason. But because of the injuries to their shortstop and lack of production by the youngster Pena. He's playing long ball.
This might have a chance. It does. It's gone. Willie Bloomquist with a 2-out solo shot, just his 2nd of the year, and that ties it up.
He don't hit many of them. That thing just kept carrying and carrying until he got out of here.
You finally get to Galarraga.
The 2-1 two-seam fastball that just kind of sunk right down into his happy zone, and a nice uppercut swing by Bloomquist. Looked like Rayburn was going to have a chance to get there, but nope.
Now Billy Butler. So each team now with 1 run on 4 hits. Each team has a solo homer. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Butler is 0 for 2. He came into this game. Really good career numbers against Detroit. 323 lifetime.
It's a good pitch right there. He was sitting on a breaking ball because Billy doesn't let many fastballs go by.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Butler cues one off the end of the bat. Galarraga trying to chase it down. Shovels it to first. Nice play. They tie it up on the home run by Bloomquist. Tigers have Cabrera, Thames, Rayburn coming up.
Cam, we're going to show you the grips that Galarraga's been featuring. That's sort of a slider that he throws there, but it looks like a knuckleball grip. It's sort of a knuckle slider. Here's a two-seam fastball. It's good. It's firm. Then a couple more sliders that he's throwing there. You can see the index finger kind of spiked on the baseball. Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by your Frost Brewed Coors Light.
So we're all even now. 1-1 is our score. Gil Mesh back to the hill. The Tigers batting in the 6th. Each team a run on 4 hits. It'll be Cabrera to lead it off. Miguel with a single and a double play ball. And Mesh backs him out of there. 1-1. Cabrera now at 325. Ichiro at 362. Leading the American League in hitting. 2 balls, 1 strike. Four Tigers hits, a home run for Marcus Thames, single for Polanco, single for Cabrera, single for Curtis Granderson. Way high. Olivo wanted it up, but that was too far outside. 3-2. There's Marcus waiting on deck. Count stays full. This is a Royals team that has been about middle of the pack in terms of team pitching. Their team ERA is shade over 4. They haven't played good defense or have hit with any power at all. Cabrera's out, 1 gone. Well, a reminder to see the Tigers play the Royals tomorrow and Wednesday at 7:05. Take advantage of the July double play. Get a pair of upper box tickets for only $29 or 2 lower box seats for just $49. It's a savings of $15. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Well, Galarraga hoping his team can get some offense going here as Marcus takes a rip. 0-1. Solo shot in the 2nd was his 7th of the year. Had him reaching for that one. He skies it in the air to deep right center field. Meyer coming over and a collision with Guillen, and they hold on to the baseball. And Jose Guillen is down on the field. Mitch Meyer and Jose Guillen colliding in right center. It's amazing he was able to hold on to the baseball. Meyer's a big kid. Everyone seems to be okay.
Well, when you have 32,000 people in the stadium, you cannot hear the other outfielder saying, I got it, I got it, I got it. You can see Meyer in center field motioning with his glove to tell Guillen that he was going to catch that ball, but Guillen was not looking at him. He still had his eye on the baseball, and you can see visibly there Guillen with his mouth saying, I got it, I got it, I got it. So when you're playing outfield and there's a lot of people in the stands, you have to have the ability to take your eye off the ball, and so you can see what the other outfielder is doing. That could have been ugly.
And then they made up afterwards, so they're okay. Meyer drilled him right in the chest.
He depleted it.
Did that. 2 outs. And that'll bring up Ryan Rayburn. Meanwhile, Thames hit that ball a million miles with just one-handed swing. It was a towering drive to right field. There is a strike on Rayburn.
Too bad that same wind wasn't blowing.
Yeah.
That was blowing the first time Rayburn was up, when he took Guillen all the way to the warning track in right field.
Checked it. He didn't go. Fielding Culbreth, the first base umpire. This next pitch will be number 100 for Gil Mesh. 1-1 game in the 6th. Left it high, 2-1.
They let him off the hook in the 2nd and also the 3rd. But you also have to give Mesh some credit for pitching out of those jams. It goes both ways.
Well, he got a double play ball in the 2nd off of Everett with the bases loaded. And Rayburn grounded out with a couple of men on in the 3rd, ending that inning. Driven in the air, deep into left. It looks like the Tigers have the lead again. They do. Rayburn yanks one into the seats, and the Tigers go up 2-1.
And we talked about the fact that Rayburn's got that new approach where he just kind of allows the bat to rest on his shoulder. He also took something that was outside away from him. Looked like a changeup that kind of faded right back over the heart of the plate, which sped his bat up, and he caught it just right and hit it out of here. And Rayburn's been doing a nice job last few games. He's been in there.
6th home run for Ryan. Tigers lead 2-1. So the Tigers answer with a 2-out solo home.
One of the few changeups that Mesh has thrown in this game today.
The reaction from Olivo was priceless. He just dropped down to all fours and was staring at the ground. 0-2. Tigers have a pair of solo shots tonight. Thames and now Rayburn. And there is activity in their bullpen. Juan Cruz. Fouled back out of play. Inge has fanned twice in this game. The 0-2 from Mesh. So Rayburn getting an opportunity to play, and Jim Leland, after a rocky go of it when he was first recalled from Toledo, stayed with him. And he really has provided some big hits this year.
That's a big part of it. And when your manager stays with you and doesn't give up on you. He knew Rayburn was better than the way that he was playing when he first got called up, for sure.
Two and two.
We were talking about Galarraga earlier, how Jim allowed him to go out there for 2 months and struggle. He never lost confidence in him. He continued to give him the ball.
And he's repaid that confidence. 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Mesh, who is now well over 100, maybe in his last inning here. We'll see.
He had one start this year where he threw 132 pitches.
Maybe not then. There's ball 4. Yeah, that was against Arizona.
And he threw 121 pitches his last time out. So you brought it up earlier about the amount of innings this guy has been able to eat since signing that free agent deal. 5 years, $55 million. He has been a legitimate #1 for them.
4 base on balls issued by Mesh. And now a chance for Maglio Ordonez. 0 for 1 with a walk. Olivo wants time. When Mesh has missed in this inning, he's done a good portion of it up high, as he did there against Ordonez. Gill was only 20 years old when he made his big league debut in Seattle. That was back in 1999. First round pick of the M's a few years before that. The 1-0. High again. 2 balls, no strikes. He's got Bob McClure scurrying out to the mound now. They have Cruz warming up. Looked like it was going to be an easy inning for Mesh, but then the home run, the walk. He has fallen behind Ordonez. It's been a tight one all night long. Ryan Rayburn has been the difference with a solo shot here in the 6th. Leland hoping that his squad, who has played so well here at home this year, can put together a nice little run heading into the All-Star break. Tigers came in with a slim lead in the Central, 2 up on Minnie, and Chicago 2.5 up. High again, 3-0. Laird waiting on deck. Outside, lost it. 5 walks, back-to-back walks here, and Mesh wasn't even close, so he's going to come out of the game. Tigers will have 2 men on for Laird. It's a wall side windows pitching change. Gil Mesh done for the night, knocked out of the game here in the 6th. As they make a change, we'll be back.
As the final American League All-Star, go to Tigers.com and cast your 2009 All-Star Game final vote. Send in to the All-Star Game in St. Louis. Voting ends this Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. He deserves to go.
And with your help, maybe he can. Gil Mesh knocked out of the game. His line, 5 walks. Really upset with that perhaps last hitter in which he lost Maglio on 4 straight pitches. So he's out of the game. He'll give way to Juan Cruz.
And Juan Cruz starting to pitch a little bit better for the Kansas City Royals after a lights out season last year, pitching for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The last 2 times he's gone out there, he has had 1, 2, 3 innings in both outings, but the numbers elevated this year in the American League opposed to what he was doing in AZ.
So here's a chance now for the Tigers to get a little bit of a cushion here. They have 2 on 2 outs, and Gerald Laird up there. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Ball 1. Tigers now with 5 hits. Of course, the Rayburn home run, the difference right now here in the 6th. Right to the outside corner for strike 1, 1-1.
Cruz is a rather slender fella at 6'2", 145. 30 years old out of Dominican Republic.
145.
He's slim now. Probably a little heavier than that. Though.
Yeah, I mean, if you're 6'2", he's got to be at least 160. 170. There's a strike.
He got some lightning in that right arm. I know this much. That last fastball in the mid-90s.
Well, the Royals the last couple of years have been able to run some guys out there with lightning in their arms.
They traded a couple of those guys in the offseason. The Ramirez kid that they got from Colorado a season ago. And you were talking about Leo Nunez. They traded to Florida in that Jacobs deal. So they're turning over some middle relievers.
Pulled right to third, and Tien hauls it in. Hit it hard, but right at it. So the Tigers get a run. Rayburn breaks the tie. Off Gil Meshman. The home run was hit by Ryan Rayburn. The Tigers have 5 hits, and the Royals tonight just 4.
Big inning here now for Galarraga. Without question, you've got to get your troops back in that dugout, and without giving up a run here in the 7th.
Mesh probably still fuming about that home run that he gave up, the 2-out solo home run to Ryan Rayburn, which has given the Tigers the lead. And now here come the Royals. Mark Tien leads it off, and Jose Guillen and Mike Jacobs. 86 pitches after 6 innings for Armando Galarraga. Stroked in the air to center. Granderson will have to play it on a couple of hops. 1 pitch, and the tying run is on. Tien has his first hit. Brandon Lyon, Bobby C. They're warming up in the Tigers' pen.
Jose Guillen is grounded in to 12 double plays this year, which leads their team. Number 13 would be Lovely. He's already hit a couple of ground balls in this game, but they have found holes. He's 2 for 2.
Single in the 2nd, single in the 5th. Each team now with 5 hits. That's That's low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And if you're Galarraga, that has to be your thought process right here. Not necessarily get a strikeout. Don't concern yourself all that much with 10. And you should be thinking about a good 2-seam fastball at the bottom of the strike zone or a good breaking ball with good tilt to get that ground ball. Ooh, what was that?
I don't know.
Whatever it was, Guillen wasn't looking for it, but he still thought he could get to it.
Armando 5 shutout innings before the home run by Bloomquist in the 6th, the solo shot. Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Jose Guillen. Galarraga looking for his 3rd career win against these Royals. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Guillen is out of there. 6 strikeouts for Galarraga.
He worked him nicely. He worked inside, and then he came back and finished him off with a fastball that was down. But that was a nice sequence of pitches by Galarraga to Guillen. Changed his eye level, worked in, worked out, kept him off balance. And be careful with this guy. Even though he's scuffing, he's got some real power.
He has not been able to display that against Tigers pitching this year, however. Just 1 for 23 against Detroit. 1 for 21 coming into the series. Last time we saw him in KC, he wasn't doing a whole lot. And still struggling, but 32 home runs last year with the Florida Marlins. 1-1.
He's not looking to hit a single, that's for sure. Not with that last cut.
Mike Jacobs also knocked in 93 last year for Florida. 3 years with the Marlins, broke in with the New York Mets. That'll head back toward the seats. Inge giving chase. So is Rayburn, to no avail. 1-2. Tigers have had good luck against the Royals this year. Having won 4 of the 6 between the two teams. The only 2 games that they have lost to Kansas City this year, guess who the starting pitcher was?
Greinke.
You are correct. Beach ball getting loose. There's Zach Greinke.
He's a bad boy.
We'll get another shot at the Tigers on Wednesday.
BADD kind of bad.
Missed it outside. 2-2 on Mike Jacobs. Galarraga has fanned 6 in this game. His career high is 8. That was against Texas. Swing and a miss. He's got himself another one. That's 7.
He threw a bigger breaking ball there to Jacobs. That pitch almost acted like a curveball. Real slow at 80 miles an hour. Had Jacobs fooled and on that front foot. A lot of times when you're out on that front foot and your bat follows, you don't make good contact. Pitching is disrupting the hitter's timing. Galarraga did a nice job there.
So now Callaspo with 2 outs. He's put the ball on the ground and flied out as well. Team the tying run standing at first base. Swing and a miss.
He's pitching a good game.
Yeah, he sure is. And this is the Galarraga that we saw in April.
It's the best we've seen him in a while.
In fact, his 8 strikeouts in his first start on opening day here in Detroit against Texas, a career high, and he is 1 strikeout away from matching that. Popped him up, heading back to the seats. Inge giving a look. Out of room, back in the dugout, and then into the seats.
Jackson must be John with Brandon talking about, you can't catch that. Catch everything else.
100 now for Galarraga. Now 2-2.
About Edwin Jackson going to his first All-Star game.
And kind of ironically, he'll pitch for a team managed by Joe Madden, his manager last year.
Well, we talked about that the other day. When your team goes to a World Series, and you want to reward as many of those players that helped you do that. And he won 14 games for Tampa Bay Rays last year.
Rayburn's going to handle that one, and Callaspo is out. Side retired. Leadoff hit. They strand a man. Everett Grandy Polanco coming up.
Means he's probably done, but why wouldn't he be after 7 strikeouts? And boy, did he have a good breaking ball today. This is the Galarraga breaking ball that we watched last year and the majority of this year at the beginning of the season. Threw some good firm fastballs as well when the hitters start looking for that breaking ball. Outstanding night for Armando Galarraga. That's our Bell Tire. Pitch by pitch.
So the Tigers now trying to add to their 2-1 lead as we play here in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Adam Everett and then Curtis Granderson and Placido Polanco.
Adam, a lot of room down at third. May as well bunt for a base hit. It's there for you. Tien is playing 7-8 feet behind the third base bag.
Double play ball and a strikeout for Everett. And he lines one foul. Hit that ball hard back into the seats. Everyone okay? 1-2. Granderson, then Polanco to follow. Mesh was taken out in the 6th inning after walking Inge and Ordonez. Cruz came on to get the line out from Laird. Here's the 1-2. popped up. Shallow center field. Meyer. One gone. Everett now 0 for 3. Top of the order, Curtis Granderson. Grandy 1 for 3 tonight. Strike one, high strike right at the belt. Cruz joined the Royals after spending the last 3 years with Arizona. And this is low, 1-1.
He was on the market for a long time. He didn't find a new team until well after the first of the year.
He's 4-0 with a 2.61 ERA for the Diamondbacks last year.
He averaged 12 strikeouts per 9 innings last year for Arizona.
96 on that last fastball. 2-2. Full count. Polanco waiting his turn on deck. He's 1 for 2. He's also walked. 3-2 pitch. In on his hands, and it's hit toward left. De Jesus. 2 gone. Plenty coming up here on this homestand right before the All-Star break.
Elvis Knight, Negro League tribute game. Stars hat. Edwin Jackson poster giveaway. All kids get that. Should be fun.
86666 Tiger for more information, or tigers.com.
And you got a first place club to watch.
We tend to forget about that.
That likes playing at home.
Polanco single and a walk. Now Zumaya has begun to warm up in the Tigers pen. That is popped up shallow left. De Jesus camping under it. Tigers go 1-2-3 against Cruz. We will go to the 8th inning. Zumaya coming up to face Olivo, Meyer, and De Jesus. The test of time since 1849. And speaking of Comerica, here's our Comerica Bank game summary. Thames and Rayburn each with solo homers providing the Tigers offense tonight. Willie Bloomquist has gone deep for Kansas City's only run. And the story tonight for the Tigers, Armando Galarraga continues his comeback with 7 innings, 7 strikeouts, 1 run. And now he will give way to Joel Zumaya.
And Joel was outstanding in Minnesota on Friday night. Threw 50-plus pitches in that 16-inning game the Tigers played. You know, what an outing he had.
That was a career high.
Yeah.
Joel back to work after having the last couple of days off. Olivo leads it off, and a breaking ball in there for a strike 0-1.
Olivo can't catch a break. Guy throwing 100 miles an hour, he still gets a breaking ball. He might get 3 in a row.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Yep, there's another one. 0-2.
I mean, at what point in time do you just look for one?
Well, maybe he's looking for it and you still can't hit it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Because it's not all that easy to hit that pitch.
So now do you throw him another one?
No, he wants the fastball up first, but my first guess would have been, yeah, throw him another one. But they threw this pitch to set up the next breaking ball.
101.
That's ridiculous. Nope, here comes the fastball again.
Got in on his hands, and it's flared and gonna drop. Well, that's frustrating right there. Olivo's hands are probably stinging right now. But the tying run is on. Now Mitch Meyer. He's 0 for 2. Showing bunt. Six hits for Kansas City, 1 more than the Tigers, yet the Tigers lead 2-1. Meyer trying to get that runner up. At least he was on that first at bat, or first pitch of the at bat.
It's tough to bunt a guy throwing as hard as Joel. A lot of guys simply pop the ball up. And if you're Joel, what you want to do is throw a fastball right around the belt buckle and see if you can get him to pop it up.
Meyer has sacrificed twice this season. Showing bunt again, and he popped it up. Caught by Zumaya. That'll help.
Right on cue. It's tough to bunt a 100-mile-per-hour heater. Fastball right around the belt buckle. And nice play. Nice job.
David DeJesus with 1 out. Had a base on balls his first time. The other 2 times he put the ball on the ground against Galarraga. Fastball sails away. 1-0 on DeJesus. Trying to extend his hitting streak, which stands at 8 straight right now. He's had moderate success, actually pretty good success against Zumaya. 3 for 7.
He's got that patented inside out swing where he doesn't try to pull that upper 90s heater. He just tries to hit it to left field.
2-0. Way high. 3 balls, no strikes on DeJesus. Zumaya got ahead of the leadoff man Olivo before he gave up a single to right. You got Bloomquist waiting on deck. He's homered in this game. DeJesus in take mode, takes one right down the middle of the plate, 3-1.
And Joe took a little off. That one was only 98.
We should all just be able to take a little off and throw 98.
Jim said that's going to be important for him to do. Instead of throwing 101, throw it 97, 96, see if you can find the strike zone.
There's a walk. He's going to put 2 aboard now, so the tying run moves into scoring position. Go-ahead run is on as well, and here comes Rick Knapp. A late chance here for Kansas City as they try and get to Zamaya. This is the first time in this game the Royals have gotten a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, this situation should be no problem for Zamaya. In that ball game in Minnesota on Friday night, Jim Leyland walked Mauer and he walked Morneau to load the bases. And so Zamaya could pitch to Gadier with 2 outs. And he struck him out. That builds a lot of confidence in you as a pitcher to come through in that situation for your manager.
Breaking ball is low. Rodney beginning to tune up in the Detroit bullpen. Single and a homer tonight for Bloomquist. Fastball driven in the air. This might be trouble, and it will. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Olivo coming around to score. Right behind him is DeJesus. And the Royals have taken the lead on a triple by Willie Bloomquist. And DeJesus almost lapped Olivo. A 2-run triple, and the Royals take the lead 3-2.
Nice approach here by Bloomquist, not trying to pull the fastball after Zamaya missed with the breaking ball on the first pitch. Bloomquist knew he was going to get a fastball, and he didn't try to do a whole lot with it. He let Zamaya supply the power, and by the time Granderson ran it down, DeJesus was trying to run down Olivo.
Infield in now for Billy Butler, and that triple for Bloomquist, his 6th of the year. The Royals have 31 triples, which leads the American League, and he's got all 3 of their RBIs tonight. The 1-0. Ground ball to third. Inge has it there, checking the runner. Butler is out. Bloomquist has to hold. And that's going to leave it up to Mark Teahen. 7 hits for the Royals. The 2-run triple by Willie Bloomquist, plating a couple. Teahen a single for 3, fanned his first 2 times up. He's Armando Galarraga. Obviously will not be able to get a win tonight.
That's too bad.
He certainly pitched well enough to get one, but the offense providing just 2 runs, and now they trail.
Now they've got to concentrate on winning the game.
Teahen takes a little inside. That was close. Big rip there by Teahen. He fouled it straight back, but he's behind in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ryan warming up. C is warming up. Imperative now for Zamaya to strand this runner at third base. Tigers down by 1. First time they've trailed tonight. Driven in the air to center. Righted Curtis Granderson to retire the side. But a big inning. They scored 2 to take the lead. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, brought to you by Bell Tire. As we told you at the top of the show tonight, the Tigers have been awfully good here at home.
Well, they'll need some comeback magic in their last 6 outs to overtake this Kansas City Royals team, which for whatever reason plays some of its best baseball here at Comerica Park.
Well, they've given the Tigers all they can handle here tonight. The 2-run triple by Bloomquist has given them the lead, and now former Tiger Roman Colon is in for KC.
Numbers not bad for Roman. 14th game, he's got a respectable earned run average, 9 strikeouts in 14 innings against 3 walks. He's only given up 1 home run.
So it'll be Cabrera, Thames, and Rayburn here in the 8th. Tigers down by 1 now. Cabrera tonight is 1 for 3. Ball 1. Cabrera hit into a double play in the first inning, had a single in the third. Colon's 1-0 pitch. On the ground, diving stop at third by Tien. What a play. Had him play deep.
Not only was he playing deep, but it looked like he was playing right on that line, protecting against a double down the third base line, and still able to come over and make a nice play, and wasting very little time to get to his feet to record the out.
We'll bring up Marcus Thames. Home run back in the second, got the Tigers on the board, his 7th of the year. One ball, 1 strike. Marcus 1 for 3 tonight, had 6 hits on that road trip. He's been batting almost exclusively in the cleanup slots since 2 trips ago when Jim Leland put him there. Trying to light one up here in the 8th, and that one's down low. 3 balls, 1 strike. Roman Colon, last pitch for the Tigers in 06. Rayburn on deck. And there is ball 4. So Thames gets a walk. 1 on, 1 out. It's starting to look like Carlos Guillen is maybe on his way back.
Yeah, he was taking some batting practice before the game earlier. You can see he's worked up a nice sweat. Also saw him throwing the baseball earlier today. So it's good to see Carlos. Looking slim, too. Been hanging out down there in Miami. Getting in shape. That weather gets you in shape down there.
What a big bat that would be. Carlos could return soon. The plan is sometimes after the All-Star break. Thames gets his walk, gets his high fives. We have Anderson pinch running.
This much we do know. Anderson not afraid to steal here. Andy Van Slyke giving him some instructions as well, but he's not afraid to run in the tightest of situations. I guess if you're going to be a true base stealer, you have to be somewhat fearless.
I think that's probably at the top of the list of traits that the great base stealers have had. It's that old saying, the toughest time to steal a base is when everybody in the ballpark knows you're going and you still swipe it.
Yep.
It takes some guts to do it at that point.
Well, one of the things that he also has to be aware of, and you really don't know when Trey Hillman will do it, even though Olivo has a good throwing arm. And the pitch out's in order in the first or second pitch.
There he goes. Fouled straight back.
Yeah.
Rayburn had a rip with the runner on the move.
I really don't know what you do there. I mean, obviously, if you're Rayburn, you know he's running. But he also knew he would get a fastball because Colon didn't want to mess around with a breaking ball in that situation. And Rayburn's a good fastball hitter. Or do you take it and let him steal the base and hit with a runner in scoring position?
Pitch out. Anderson planted at first base, wasn't going.
He could do it again.
Driven to the gap in right center field. That ball is going to get down. Here comes Anderson rounding third. He's coming around to score. Rayburn going for 3. The throw. He is out at third base.
Rayburn never looked at Gene Lamont. But then again, the ball was right in front of him. What a swing. What a knock. Pounded this fastball. Took advantage of the fact that Anderson on first base, he knew he'd get one. He split the gap. But he didn't look to third to see what Gene Lamont wanted him to do, and therefore may have should have stayed at second.
Tigers tie it up 3-3 on the double by Ryan Rayburn. 8-4-5 on the putout. That's going to bring up Brandon Inge, who from the 7th inning on has 8 home runs, which is tied for the most in the American League. Broke his bat, will roller towards short on the backhand. Bloomquist, and that is that for the Tigers. But they tie it up on the hit by Rayburn. 3-3 as we go to the 9th.
AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
Well, the Tigers have tied it up as we go to the ninth inning. It is 3-3 now, and here comes a new pitcher for Detroit. It is the closer, Fernando Rodney. And Rodney here in the ninth inning will face Jose Guillen to lead it off for the Kansas City Royals. A double by Ryan Rayburn, who has 2 extra base hits, 2 RBIs tonight, tied this game, but he was thrown out trying to stretch it to a triple. Big night nonetheless for Rayburn. And the Tigers have 6 hits. The Royals have 7. Guillen, Jacobs, and Callaspo against the Tigers closer. It's been a good one here in the opening game of the series, opening game of the homestand. 2 more to go against the Royals, then Cleveland comes a knocking. First pitch is up high to Jose Guillen. Swinging a drive deep to left. It's going to hook though and go foul. That'll make your heart skip a beat. Guillen crushed that thing. He's got 2 hits tonight, both singles. And he came into this game 1 for his previous 19. Breaking out of it a little bit tonight. He's gone 17 games now without drawing a walk. Now 2-1. Fernando follows Zumaya, who gave up the 2-run triple in the 8th, scoring Olivo and DeJesus. That gave the Royals their first and only lead to this point, at least. Grounded toward third, foul. Rodney, of course, fastball changeup. Fastball anywhere from 95 to 96. Sometimes even higher than that. Fernando has done a nice job in save situations for Detroit. He also leads the American League with 32 games finished.
And Rodney's got that legitimate swing and miss pitch. That change piece. When he locates it, they don't hit it.
It's a foul ball.
Which is a nice luxury to have if you're a closer.
Well, that thing had to hurt. That thing got down to Inge in a hurry, yet it was called a foul ball, so he banged that thing off his foot with some authority. Instep maybe?
Looked like he got him on the outside of the foot. Outer ankle. Outside part of the shoe.
Wave and a miss. Fernando with a strikeout, 1 gone.
That's that legitimate swing and miss pitch I was talking about. The change piece.
Here's Mike Jacobs. Strike 1. He has faced Rodney once. He's 0 for 1 career against him. 0 for 3 in this game, and now 3 for his last 19.
Last time we saw Jacobs, he was scuffling to get some base hits.
The Tigers have held him in check this year. He's 1 for 24 against Detroit pitching. But he has that kind of power that all it takes is 1 swing. Bloomquist has a Royals home run tonight. The Tigers have gone deep a couple of times. Thames and Rayburn. There's a swing and a high drive, deep right field. Ordonez going back, and that ball is gone. So much for the slump. And the home run by Jacobs is his 11th, and the Royals are giddy. Second home run of the night for KC. That one hurts. 4-3 Royals.
It looked like it was a changeup that Rodney did not locate where he wanted it. Classic uppercut swing by Jacobs. He's hit enough to know when they're going to fly out.
That thing was a majestic home run. So the Royals are back on top, 4-3. Here's Callaspo. Strike. He doesn't believe it. 0-2. Couple of clutch hits late in this game. The 2-run triple by Bloomquist in the 8th, and now the home run by Jacobs here in the 9th.
Rayburn had a clutch double as well.
That tied it up for the time being, momentarily, before Jacobs put his team ahead.
I think that got his hand. Sure did. There they are, Bloomquist and Jacobs.
Two and two. And Alberto Callaspo. The Tigers, when we get to the bottom of the 9th inning, will have the bottom of the order: Ordonez, Laird, and Everett. Three balls, 2 strikes. Chopper hit to the right side. Polanco got it by about a step. 2 gone. He's going to leave it up to Miguel Olivo. Olivo 1 for 3. He was one of the runners that came around in the Bloomquist triple in the 8th. Tigers now been out hit 8-6. Leland checking over the lineup card, plotting his next move. Strike 1 on the outer edge. This is a Royals team that came in with very little power, at least numbers wise. They had hit just 69 home runs. Only one team had fewer homers, and that was Oakland. That's into center field, a base hit, but they've hit 2 big ones tonight in a ballpark that is not really known as being a home run hitter's ballpark. Joakim Soria warming up in their bullpen. He is good to go to try and protect this lead when we get to the bottom of the 9th. He has pitched in their last 2. So we'll see if he can go on 3 consecutive nights. Here's Mitch Meyer. Wave and a miss. Oh for 3 for Meyer. Way inside, missed with a changeup. 1-1. Verlander on the hill tomorrow for Detroit against Bruce Chen. Wave and a miss. Changeup and a beauty. 1-2 on Mitch Meyer. Out of Novi High School Played his college ball at Toledo in the MAC. Spent 3 years there, 3 very productive years. Mitch still makes his home in the Detroit area, lives in South Lyon. And born in a beautiful part of the state, Petoskey, Michigan. Two and two. Rodney struck out Guillen to start the inning, gave up the long home run to Jacobs. 1 out later, a single by Olivo. Here's Verlander. He'll get the call tomorrow. And he's been really good in his career against these Kansas City Royals. Dominant, as a matter of fact. 2-2 is swung on and missed. Down he goes. And that's going to do it for KC. They take the lead, though, on the home run by Jacobs. Mags, Laird, Everett coming up against Soria. The Royals have made a couple of changes here defensively. Willie Bloomquist will move from short to right field. And you've got a new shortstop now. That is Tony Pena. He is now playing short, junior that is. And Joaquin Soria is the new pitcher trying to record the save for KC.
He's awfully good as a closer. He has battled some arm injuries this year, shoulder, for the entire month of May. But he is healthy, and his numbers are not bad at all. 27 strikeouts in 20 2/3 innings. And the opponent's hitting a buck and some change against Soria. A good fastball, anywhere from 89 to 92. Good command, and he's got that real slow, eefish curveball that he will throw to somebody tonight.
Here is Maglio leading it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tigers need a run to tie. 3 for 5 with a strikeout against Soria. Laird and Everett to follow. Tigers have been limited to just 6 hits tonight. 2 of them belong to Rayburn. Double and a homer. That's driven to the air to right field. Bloomquist in front of the track. One gone. Now Gerald Laird with one away. First meeting between these two. The Jacobs homer right now, the difference. fouled away. No balls, 1 strike on Gerald Laird, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk. Ooh, threw it by him. 0-2. On deck is Ramon Santiago. Everett spot due up. He waited back on that pitch and yanked it foul. Soria has gone from a Rule 5 draft selection to being one of the top closers in the American League. 42 saves last year for Kansas City. And they got him as a Rule 5 pick back in 06. That was from the San Diego organization. He had pitched in Mexico in 05 and 06. A quick rise to the top for Joaquin Soria. Only 25 years old, out of Mexico. Tiger rally caps out in force tonight. Here's the 1-2. Fought that one off to stay alive. Fernando Rodney surrendered the home run to Jacobs. That has put KC in the lead. Soria trying to record saves in 3 consecutive days. Way high. 2-2. Three balls, 2 strikes. There's Santiago waiting his turn on deck. He would pinch hit for Everett. Tigers 1 pitch away from putting the tying run on here. 32,000 plus for the opening game in this series. And it's pulled on the ground to short, off the glove of Pena into left. He hit it hard, and Laird is aboard. DeJesus had trouble stumbling out there in left field trying to get the ball back in, and Laird took a wide turn.
This ball eats up Tony Pena Jr. About as sure-handed at that position as you can get, but absolutely chewed up. He couldn't find it, and therefore DeJesus had to run in and get it and lost his balance.
Well, here comes Santiago. Time call now. We're going to get a visit out to the mound first. Bob McClure saying, "Can I have time, please?"
And Comcast is telling us that Soria threw a pitch at 94 to Gerald Laird, and he also threw him one at 68. That slow Eephus curveball that he will bust out at least once every outing. And what's amazing about that pitch, he throws so slow, he has the ability to throw it for a strike just about every time he throws it.
So now here's Santiago pinch hitting for Everett. Ramon has a little bit of power here. 6 home runs. Swing and a miss. First meeting between these two. Strike called in the outside corner. 0-2. Granderson would be next. And back and forth all night. Tigers led 1-0, then 1-1, then 2-1. Tigers fell behind by 1, then they tied it up. But the Jacobs homer in the 9th is the difference. And he got him, strike 3. On the outside corner, Santiago is caught looking. 2 gone.
Good pitch.
So it's up to Granderson, who is 2 for 8 lifetime against Soria.
Well, Granderson may have to take that base hit the opposite way as well. Looks like that's where they're going to work the left-handers away. Granderson's got a lot of pull power to right field.
He's going to get back into the seats. The outfield is playing Granderson almost on the warning track.
Double plays depth. Excuse me. No doubles depth.
Bloomquist out in right field, just in front of the warning track. Meyer in center and DeJesus in left, also way back there. 0-1 on Granderson. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. Randy tonight 1 for 4. Swing and a miss, and now it's 2-2, and Soria 1 strike away from another save. Crowd coming to its feet now. Trying to urge on Granderson. High, 3-2. Polanco would be next if Granderson keeps it going. Three-2 pitch, swung on and missed. He struck him out, and the Royals win the opening game of the series with a run in the top of the 9th inning. Soria gets the save, Jacobs the homer. It turns out to be the game winner. And the Royals will take game 1 in this series. Right now we send it down to Mickey York for a preview of Tigers Live. Mick?
All right, Mario, the Tigers see one getting away. Coming up, we'll have a disappointing